Hey, this is Rosa RCG Creations. How are you? Today I'm bringing you a video from, I'm hosting a crop. I host a crop here at our HOA clubhouse once a month. And I'm a little bit early today before everybody arrives. And I wanted to show you a video of these new shaker cards. These are from Creative Embellishments. See them? Let me see if they have any info. It just says Creative Embellishments. Okay, that's it. I don't see a website. I don't see anything. But anyway, I got these from Jen Evers at Quality Crafts. Check out her YouTube channel. She sells gently used and brand new craft items. As you can see, this is brand new. It's never been used. This is a one-time use shaker card. And here's some cards that I made. And here is the birthday one. There you go. I hope I have this in frame there. Okay, and then that's the inside of the card. And then there you can see, there's where the shaker is. You can see what the shaker is. And then this one is a little cupcake. Isn't that cute? And I just put some paper on the front of the card to decorate the back so it wouldn't be white. And then that's the inside of the card, and there's the message. It says, "Happy birthday to you," and I embossed that in copper, shimmer copper. And then this one is You're Blooming Lovely. So my little flowers, I decided not to color them because I have the yellow background, and I just inked the background. And then here's the shaker on that, and it's just a mason jar. And then that's the inside. I did mess up, so I got to fix that. But it says, "On your special day, birthday wishes." And these are just regular 8.5 by 11 cardstocks I cut in half. Oops. Yeah, there it goes. This just have to open a little bit so it stays, because there's so much weight in the front from it's a 3-layer, I think it's 3 layers. No, excuse me, it's a 4-layer shaker card. Okay, so let's get to the process. Let me move this out of the way here. And I just wanted to show you these pieces. Hang on and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to make sure that I was in full frame because I had to move over a little bit so you could see everything. Anyway, this next one was the circles. And as you can see, for some reason, I don't know why, but there's 6 of them, where all the other pieces are only 1 piece. So I'm going to show you another one. I'm going to open one up. In fact, I'll show you all of them right now. These are just the ones that I picked out. They had more, but this is just what I just picked out. Here's a little mermaid. This is a Mickey Mouse hand. Here's a little duck. And here's 2 little hearts. An Easter egg. A baby onesie. And an anchor. And as you can see, these are all made out of chipboard. And so the chipboard's that dark brown color, but I use my alcohol markers to color them, as you can see here. And I just used my Spectrum Noir alcohol sparkle pens because I wanted the glitter. And then when I glued them all together, I went ahead and colored each single one, all on the outside. Actually, I think I missed on this one. I'll need to go back. As you can see, I need to go back and do some of that blue, so I'll need to go back on that one. But I did color each one of them on the sides, and I didn't do the front because I knew I was going to glue them. But on this one, I just colored the top part and the sides. And then here, let me show you this one, the 2 together. Here's the one that I colored with the sparkle pens. This one I colored with the shimmer sparkle pens. Actually, I used a kind of an orangey color, and so it's got just enough of a little bit of a shimmer. And this one, I did not color the inside because to be honest with you, I totally forgot about it. It wasn't. I did it on purpose. It was a mistake, but it worked out okay. And I colored the outside with the red, but you can see that's the color because it's the same color as with the original which is cardboard, dark color cardboard. Okay, but I'm going to get another one here that's so you can see the layers. Let me find one that's got more layers. Okay, here's one. This is an Easter egg. And this is brand new, so I don't know anything about this company. I don't know what all that comes with it, but anyway, yeah, this is what I mean. This is how I made these other cards here. So you have the base, then you have the one ring. So you'll glue that on top of here, and you could do it raw, or you can color it. I'm sure you can use markers, because this is just chipboard. Actually, it's just heavy, extra thick cardstock. So just use anything you want to color it with. You can do alcohol markers, your regular markers, whatever you have. You could even use acrylic paint if that's what you have. So, and color it however you want to color it. And then you lay it, and then you'll put your shaker pieces on the inside of here, and then you will put some wet glue on the inside of that, and then glue that on here, and then put some more wet glue on the top of this one, and then attach it together so you made your little sandwich. And then you've got your shaker pieces. In fact, I'll show you some right here. These are easy. I could see this. They're bigger. So there's some of your shaker pieces there. And then you would put that on top. Get these are already glued, and then put some glue. I wouldn't do anything on here. I would do it on here. Put your wet adhesive along the line of this one. And these are already glued. Pretend that they're already all glued together, not moving on you. And then take that back. These two are glued together. These three are glued together. And then you're going to put glue on the top of this one. And then you're going to lay it on top. And that's your sandwich. And you don't need any double-sided foam or anything when you do these. And as you can see, well, of course, they're coming out because they're not totally glued together. But you can get the main gist of what I'm talking about. This is how your sandwich, and you put them all together. And see, they shake. They're all good. And they're layered. So you can have the natural look if you want the natural look, or you can go ahead and color them. And it's basically up to you how you want your project to work. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started on these. So I'll bring you back when I've got these colors. And I'm not just going to go ahead and make, these are just circles, so you can do what you want. You can make them into balloons, but I'm just going to make them to fit my card. And since I'm using a 4.5 by 5 card, because it's just half of 8.5 by 11. I'm just going to see how many I can fit, one or two, but I'll be back. Hey, I'm back. Okay, my friends should be here soon, so I got to hurry this up. So I'm getting my Cut-A-Bug, getting my sandwich. Don't need the metal plate, don't need my shim, don't need my C plate, but I do need my B plate. Because what I'm going to do is on the inside of the card, actually on the outside, sorry. I'm going to use this happy birthday embossing folder. And I'm going to emboss the front of this card. So you just open it up, line it up through there. See? You only want the front side. Don't forget, don't do the back, because you don't want to emboss that. And I put it in my sandwich, A plate, B plate, another B plate. Run it through the machine. And if you don't get a really good dark impression, because a lot of the embossing plates and then also your cardstock determines if you get a good embossing impression or not, you can always put an extra plate or a C plate and a B plate for extra pressure. And then always test your card before you just take it out and open it. So you open it up, hold the card down, and then peek on it, and you can see that it's a good impression. And sure enough, it got a really good impression. So now I'm going to move this out of the way. cuddle bug out of the way. Don't need it now. Okay. Sorry. I gotta position myself. I gotta get comfy. Okay, so there's the front of my card. I'm just gonna leave it plain and white, but I do have the little circle, and what I did is I used this double-sided, really thin foam. Let me see if I can find where it came from. I should have a package. Yeah, here it is. This is from Darcy Toolbox, and it's called 33 pieces, 1/8 by 3 3/4 inch strips of double-sided adhesive foam. And that's what it looks like. Okay, let me angle that up so you don't see the glare. Okay. And if you wanted to, if you want to make it a little bit thicker, you can double layer this, but I think, because I'm just going to be a simple little card I'm going to put right here, because this set of cards that I'm giving out to our church ladies is going to be, the whole month is going to be nothing but shakers. But what I do is I get my embossing powder. This is nothing but cornstarch or baby powder. You can make your own, but this is from EK Tools, and I like it because it's got the little duster there, and then you just press the powder, and you want it all on your little acetate sheet, so the beads and the little seed beads and whatever sequence that you're going to use doesn't, it gets rid of the anti-static, okay, so it doesn't stick. And then you always want to run some powder along the adhesive side, so that way none of the seed beads or your sequence get stuck on the adhesive, and then it's okay, it still shakes because it doesn't all stick, but you want to get rid of as much of that as you can. So run some of your powder. That's why I like this instead of using a little bag or pouch, because you can't get into the little grooves of the sides, because there's adhesive on the sides of this foam along. So there's adhesive on the top and the bottom, and then also on the sides here, on both sides of it right there. Both sides right there is adhesive, and that's what you want to get rid of. Okay, so because this one's going to be very generic and very simple, I'm just going to leave it on the background because I want those little dots to be there, because as you can see, I'm using shimmer paper. I hope you can see that. I'm going to move it around a little bit. It's shimmer paper, and this is shimmer paper from Recollections. I got these at, I think this is Michael's brand, Recollections, and it's called Shimmer Cardstock. And it's only 65 pounds, but I went ahead and got the whole ream of that. So you get 100 sheets, and it's all shimmer, nothing but shimmer paper. I think they come in different colors, but I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that. So now I'm just going to attach this. This is where I want the little shaker pieces to go. So now I'm just going to lay my pieces down. I'm not going to put a whole lot in here. I just want to do a little bit for a little bit of color, because it says a white background card. This is a simple white card. And I'm using this little tiny little seed beads, work really great with these shaker cards. So let's just do a little bit of those. Let's do a little bit of kind of a light purple. Kind of a purpley lilac color. On shaker cards, when I make them, I like to make them really colorful. And then we always got to have some little stars. I love these little baby stars. This is from, this is a Martha Stewart collection. She has these, I think these are the ones from the set. I think you get like 12 or 18 in a package. And I believe the local box stores sell those. Because I got mine at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, I forget which one. Okay, so I just want to do a little bit, only because this is a small little circle. And actually, you know what, I can do more. There's actually room. You know, you can do more, add a little bit more. But I don't want to add too, you don't want to add too much, because you do want it to shake around. Okay. There, now let's move them all in. That way they stay in their circle, so when you press on the adhesive, it's going to stick. So press it all in there. Now remove your backing tape, paper. That's the protective paper, so it stays sticky. And that's on all double-sided foam tape. And then one thing I always want to show you, whenever time you're doing shaker cards, make sure when you, for one end piece ends and another one begins, you always make sure you flush it all the way as close as possible, because you don't want any shaker pieces to come in between and come out. Then you're going to lose your shaker pieces. And you see this piece right here, how it's overlapped because it's the one end. Just push down on it with your nail, and you want it to get stuck on both ends. And it's totally stuck, so that's good. But see that one? It's got totally flushed. See that there? That's totally flushed. And if you think you got some powder on here, feel free to go ahead and put some wet adhesive on top. It's not going to hurt any. It's just going to give you more protection. But as you could, I can feel it. You can see it's really tacky. But I'm just going to show you. This is just a way to do it, to make sure that the whole thing seals and there's no gaps. When it comes to shakers, you want to make sure you don't want too much glue, but you want enough that nothing's going to come apart and you're going to lose all your shaker pieces. Okay, and then I'm just smoothing it out. And now I'm going to apply this on top. Actually, I want to make this a different color, so bear with me. I'm going to color this right quick. And I'm going to do it before I put it on my card because I don't want it to, let's make this a nice little purple color. And here's my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. They're my sparkle pens. And let's make this a nice pretty I'm going to do a light purple color. Let's do this one here. What is this one called? And I've got little samples of each color just so I know what it looks like on a white cardstock. But because this is brown, it's going to look a little bit different. This is called Pony. So Pony would look like this on white cardstock. So let's see what it's going to look like on this cardboard. And don't forget, you want to do the sides. And it's okay to color the foam because I don't want it to be it could be white because I'm using a white background, but if you weren't using a white background, you'd want to color the side of the foam. Sometimes I use a Sharpie marker to color the foam, and I color the foam. It's another good reason to carry different colors of Sharpies is because I'll color the foam the same color as the main project. That way it offsets the color. And yeah, you can still see some of the foam, but it's not as noticeable as, like, say I'm using an orange card front and I've got the white foam, and then, oh, you can see that she's got the foam there. So that's just another way to make it look more professional looking. And technically what I should have done is I should have colored this first, then added the adhesive, the wet adhesive, added the acetate sheet, and then added the foam. But I didn't. That's okay. We're all human. Things happen. It's all workable. No big deal. And just going to turn it a slight color, but what I like about it, it's going to have a shimmer to it when it dries. That's what I like about these sparkle pens. I love these sparkle pens. It's because it dries clear or to whatever color that you're using, but it leaves a shimmer, a sparkle. It's not really overly sparkly like glitter cardstock, but it gives you just enough. And I'll show you when I show you the close-up on the ones the cards I already made. You probably noticed that I already saw that. You could really notice it on the gold of that mason jar that I created I showed you earlier. Okay, almost done. And of course you need to wait for it to dry, and I should have done on the inside, but because I already did the acetate, I'm not going to go with it. I'm just going to let it go with what I've got. I'm not going to sweat it. Okay, see there. But see, you can see this. You can sort of see the white of the inside of the foam, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. Let this dry. Close this up. Put this away. I'm on a limited space here. Okay. myself a towel, wipe up my fingers because I'm working with white and I don't want to get any other color. Okay, so now, because I waited a few minutes doing that coloring, let me add some more adhesive on here, just because I want to make sure it has a good stick. And that other adhesive is already dried up, because it doesn't take long for this adhesive to dry up. This is that art glitter glue that's inside this bottle. And I just add the art glitter glue with my refill bottle. And I add just a tad of water. I'll put some art glitter glue about right here. I'll add just like 2 or 3 drops of water, shake it, add some more art glitter glue, and usually fill it to the top. Let me close this up because this long piece here does get dried up blue on it. And whenever I'm working on a project, I always like to lay it down. That way there's always glue near the top, so I don't have to sit there and wait and shake, shake, shake for the glue to flow down to the bottom. I'm kind of an impatient crafter. I would have done yesterday. Okay, now let me get myself some more. I want some more embossing powder. I want to make sure it's all on there. And I want to make sure it's stuck. And then let's add it to this piece. Center it. Hold it with one hand and with the other finger push down to make sure that that adhesive has stuck to your card, the base, card front, whatever it is that you're doing. You just want to make sure that it's totally stuck. Don't move it. Don't do anything. You let it sit. You make sure that glue is totally dry. Okay, so I'm just going to put something a little bit heavy. Like this is actually I got this at Kroger. It's actually a salt container, and you put loose salt in here. So as you're baking, you just take a couple of pinches of salt or a scoop, a measuring spoon, and scoop out your sugar. But I use this to keep my chamois in here. And then I close it up because, you know, with your chamois, you want to have a little bit of air, not a whole lot. And I use this. And there's those things called the coconut that it's basically the same thing. But it looks like a coconut, and you open it up, and it's got a little silver, it's a metal silver that opens it shut, but it's not totally airtight. So that's what you want. Or, you know what, just use your phone. Put your phone right on top. And then there you are. So I'm going to let that sit for just a few minutes, put this out of the way. And then I'm going to use my little stamp pad on this one. This was the one I kept for $15. You got the envelopes, you got the card bases, and you got the stamps. So this is a good deal. And this is from Jen Evers, Jenevers, at Koala, Koalat, T as in Tom, Crafts. Oh, and look, it comes with 2 embossing folders, 2 little small narrow embossing folders. But I'm going to use this, and I'm going to move this out of the way because I want this to dry for a second. I'm going to make sure, it's not going to really take very long at all, but let's see, what kind of message are we going to say? It says happy birthday already on the front. And the message, let's just make this one here, the little chickie. And birthday wishes on the inside. Oh, you know, let's just do this on your special day. I like that one better. On your special day. Okay, so I'm going to get my stamping tool. I love to use my stamping tool. I don't use my blocks anymore. Just for the simple fact is I have a lot of my ink pads because I have a variety. I just collect them wherever it's a good price, a good sale. So it just depends. Some of them are really, really, really juicy, and some of them are don't, but I always like to buy an ink refiller. Now look here, it's totally dry now. See, it didn't take very long. And there is the card front. Yeah, it's a little bit brown, but that's okay, because that's just the color of the cardboard. But it sticks out, and the fact that there's beads or shakers, and you can still see the little embossing impression in there, it's still fun, you know, it's still a fun card. So now I'm going to go ahead and, I love this because this comes with 2 of these sleeves. I don't know what you call these, but anyway. Be careful with the magnets. Never let it touch against something else because these things will break, but they're pretty strong. And because I like to do here, I always flush it to a corner, always. because I want a smooth, even, in case I don't get a good impression the first time. Okay, let me move that right there, so that's not going to move on me. And I know this is the front. Let's do the little balloon right here, the little chickie. And here's my message: on your special day. I'm going to eyeball it, but I take this off so I can look at it and know it's where I want it to be, and it's straight and it's level. It's not crooked. Oh, perfect. That looks good. So now I'm going to put my sleeve, plate, and I don't know, stamping plate maybe, I don't know what you call it. And I like to use my Stampin' Buddy, my Stampin' Up! Stamping Buddy. It's a scrubber. You put spray a stamp cleaner on one side, and then you dry it on the other side, and then you spray it. You spray this, then you get your dirty stamp, scrub it on there, and then scrub it dry, and that's how you really deep clean your stamps. But I use that just to give me some depth, and I like to use my VersaFine. VersaFine is my go-to ink pad for any small words. But I know this is pretty juicy. Ah, look what I just did. I close it up on myself. And before I go any further, because I'm using white, always look at your hands with any project, but for sure when you're working with white. So if you have any black, like that other card I did earlier, I showed you, I messed up. I got a smudge just because I had ink on my fingers, and I touched it. It's like, man, so now you got to fix it. Say, take a couple extra seconds, clean your hands off whenever you've got a mess up. Now I'm going to stamp it over. And some brand new stamps, they don't impress very well because they've got this kind of a film on them. So you can just rub them. All you do is get your little stamp, and then you rub it with your finger, and that wipes off whatever that film is. Some of them do it, some of them don't. I don't know why. And even on the same stamp set, it does that. I don't know why it does, but see that impression? It's not totally crisp and clean, so I want to do it again. And that's another reason why I only will, from now on, since I got this stamp apparatus, I only use this. I don't use my blocks. I do use my blocks when I know it's a really, really juicy, and I know it's an old stamp. And with my rubber, red rubber, because you can use red rubber or cling, either one, and my wood blocks. But from all my cling stamps, I only use this stamping tool. Just because I want to be able, it's not a dark impression, and I want to go back. It's going to go back exactly to where I want. You just put a little bit of pressure, because you want that ink to touch the cardstock. And voila! See how that, isn't that great, great impression? And then I'm going to use my stamping shanty. This is from Lawn Fawn. All of them make it, Stampin' Up, all the manufacturers, there's all kinds, there's off-brand kinds. They're all over the place. It's some kind of a foamy thing. And then when it gets kind of yucky and dirty, I just toss it in the wash with my dark colors, and it comes right off. And the ink doesn't go on anything else. But then I only use it with, it's either my dish towels, washcloths, or I do it with my husband's blue jeans. When I do the load of blue jeans, I'll toss it in there with a load of blue jeans. And we've never had any color off, because this is just, ink. But most of it's waterproof ink, or water soluble. But, I just use it like that. And then always, when you can, remember to put your stamps right back up, because they tend to walk away. Or they get stuck on something, and you don't know where it's stuck on. And put it right back to where it was on your packaging. That way you know everything is there, and you haven't lost or misplaced it. Then you find it 6 months, 2 months, a year later, you find it when you're going through some paper and stuff. But believe me, and the reason I say that is because, guess what? It's happened to me I don't know how many times. And then let me put this away. And there's my little card, but I want to add a little bit of color, just a little bit, and I don't want to do it too thick because I don't want the ink to seep through the other side, because if you don't use good heavy quality cardstock, the ink, especially on alcohol markers, does bleed through to the other side. So I'm going to be using, let's make him a little yellow chickie or ducky, whatever it is, little, you know, it's a little birdie. Let's make him into a little bluebird. Let's do a nice light little bluebird. And I'm using, called Moonstruck. Always want to shake your pens when you first get them before you use them. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of inking. I personally, when I first stamp with any ink, even if it's the kind that's okay for alcohol marker pens, because I know each type of ink, it smears. I try not to go on any of the black, and I'm just dotting. I'm not rubbing, and I'm just dotting the ink, because this is such a small little piece. Then you don't forget his feathers. And I'm going to color his little belly. It's going to let his little belly be white, which of course you could color it. And because this is such a small little stamp, it doesn't take long. Oh, let me get the edges here off a little bit. I'm trying to rush because I know my lady friends are on their way. And then let's what color? Let's find an orange for the beak. The beak is actually kind of a goldie, but I don't have this in that color, so I'm just going to do a little orange on the beaks. The beaks are more kind of a yellow, but I'm just going to barely do, this one is called, can't read it, Harvest Moon. I'm just going to barely just touch it, just barely dab it. Let me move this out of the way, sorry. And I'm just barely dabbing it, just to give it a little color on the beaks. Okay. And let's do, what color balloon? Let's do a yellow balloon. And then let's do I want to do a light purple. Light purple and light yellow, because I don't want it to be too bright. And all I'm doing is coloring inside the balloon. Color in the lines like we learned in elementary school. Stay in the lines when you're coloring. Nice and simple. Let's do my yellow. Close this back up. And there's the inside of the card, and look, because I did a light case, you did bleed through. And there is that finished card. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. We see you at the next video. Don't forget to hit like, share, and comment. And we take care. You have a great day. Bye-bye. Oh, happy Thanksgiving, because this is the week of Thanksgiving next week. Thank you. Goodbye.